I'm Gary Kaminsky, along today with Maria Bartiromo, host of Mornings with Maria here on the Fox Business Network. Anthony Scaramucci will be back next week.
2016 proving to be a remarkable and pivotal year for America. This unpredictable election will have massive implications for the economy, the stock market, and the business world. Kyle Bass is with us, the founder and principal of Hayman Capital Management, and he joins us right now.
Kyle, thanks for being here. I want to talk to you about the race, but first I want to talk to you about the story of the week, and that's negative interest rates. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink warned earlier this week about what the implications would be for negative rates. As I talk to many of our clients, it's the biggest concern they have. Should we be worried right now about negative interest rates in the United States?
I think this is where the academics are kind of clashing with the practitioners. I think on paper, negative rates make a lot of sense if you're running academic models, but in the world, in reality, they make no sense. And so having $7 or $8 trillion of debt, having 30-year JGBs trading at 50 basis points is absolutely ludicrous. And so this experiment that's going on, we all know will end poorly at some point in time. I just don't know when that time is.
But the academics may have influence over the policymakers. And so is it something that viewers of this program really need to be worried about? Should people be considering taking money out of banks because soon they may be having to pay the banks to leave the money there?
I think one of the fears that they have is a run on cash, right? If they told you and I that they're going to tax your deposits by 100 basis points, well, it's better to put it in a safe or under your mattress than it is. And that's why you see a resurgence in gold. The more they move to negative rates, the more gold is going to take off because there's no carrying costs.
And when you look at the reason that we've got negative rates, it's because we've got this slow economy, whether it is in Japan, whether it's in China, the U.S. So I ask you, what's your take? And I know your money is in China, so we'll get there. But as far as the U.S. is concerned, do you think, for example, Donald Trump is right, that we're on the doorstep of a massive recession in the U.S.?
Well, Donald Trump may be right for the wrong reasons, right? From the perspective of what's going on in Asia, Asia has a giant credit bubble that they've been building for the last 10 years or longer that has kind of reached its atrophy level, and it's going to happen over the next 2 or 3 years. So whether that causes the U.S. to have a brief minor recession, I think it's kind of 40-50% chance in the next year, personally. But it doesn't mean that slow global growth is going to lead to persistent recessions in the United States. I don't buy that. But I also don't buy this idea that monetary policy can generate true organic growth. It can help us out of a crisis, and it's proven to do so. But listen, we had 8 years of full-out excessive monetary and fiscal policy, cyclically adjusted, and here we are today. And so when Lagarde goes to the G20 and says we all need to work together, we've been working together. Yeah. Everybody has been on easy monetary policy. We've pulled all the demand forward that we can, and now we're stuck with kind of stagnation and excess capacity and a lot of debt.
And to be clear to your first question, it hasn't worked. So you look at the monetary policy that's continuing right now, the stimulus, like from the Bank of Japan going negative interest rates, markets have responded completely the opposite that you would have expected.
It causes, right, economics assumes that everyone's a rational actor. And we all know in this world, there aren't that many rational actors. So I think that's where there's a divergence between kind of academia and practitioners.
Let's talk about 12 months from now, because we'll have an election out of the way in 12 months. And you spend a lot of time, I know a lot of people in Washington reach out to you. They want to seek your advice as it relates to economic matters. Let's turn the table there. What do you think Wall Street and the financial industry and the markets want to see in the next president? Who is the best president of the candidates for the equity markets?
So I'll give you a crazy answer. I mean, I think it's Hillary. I think...
well, it's not that crazy. I mean, I think many people, right, Maria, have told us for the last several weeks that they think that they know what they're getting there.
Yeah, I think she's the most sane actor of them all. And again, they might seek economics advice from me. It's a good thing that no one seeks political advice from me. You know, I'm a weekend warrior, an armchair quarterback.
But what about that? I mean, Hillary Clinton has said she wants to, keep drug prices in check, wants to hold the insurance companies accountable, wants to raise taxes by $1.1 trillion. So while she is the one with the experience and the one that is sort of the steady when you look at what's going on with the other candidates, her policies are very liberal. Do you think that hurts markets in any way?
Well, so on drugs, how can you not say that we should rein in drug prices when they've been able to freely charge whatever they want to charge annually? In the last 12 months, that narrative's changed dramatically, and that's for the better for our country. It's for the worse for a few drug companies. It's for the better for everyone, both you and I, and anyone that buys prescription drugs. It's better. So when I think about the three policies that you just discussed, raising taxes, I mean, one thing you have to think about is this divide between the haves and the have-nots. The one unintended consequence of Fed easy monetary policy has been this distributive nature of their policies, right? Distributive nature where it made the rich richer. How many rich people do you know today that are worse off than they were at the peak of 2006's greatness in the United States? I don't know one, minus some of the Lehman people. I don't know one. And so what happened is we went to this policy where we went through to go to QE. QE, what that did was raise asset prices. Well, the only people with assets are rich people in general. So they became much more rich. So that divide widened. So now we have this unintended consequence of, call it a liberal Fed, is they made that divide larger. And so I think I think this is a big issue. So when you talk about raising tax, right, it's inevitable, I think, that we're going to have to raise personal income tax. I think we've got to cut corporate tax if we're going to compete on the global scale. Again, those are one liberal policy, one conservative policy put together, but that's what has to happen. So if Hillary is being pragmatic, then I support her.
A little compromise right there. Kyle, stay with us. We'll be right back here on Wall Street Week.